Hi, we're Bob and Kelly with Freedom Quest International, and this is our third video, and we want to talk to you about presumption in our marriage relationships and how that hinders the intimacy that God really has planned for our marriages.
Actually, part one, or the first video, we talked about shaming
and honor,
and honor, how to honor each other. And then the second, part two, we talked about walking in the light.
And both of those are really key in our marriages. Yeah. But this is also another key, a third key that's way important. And this principle is very important and very very active in every relationship that we have, on the
not
job,
just marriages,
in our with our children, with our colleagues, people at church, people at people out in the social arena, no matter where. Oftentimes we move into presumption and we assume that people are thinking or doing or going to do something. We place false expectations on people, and that's really damaging to relationships when we do that.
I think one really good story just came to mind where I presumed something about you and I when we had one of our precious moments.
Oh, why don't you tell that story? Yeah, that's a good
moments
one.
In Malaysia. But Bob and I were working out in the gym. We were staying in a friend's apartment. Flat, and we're working out in the gym, and he says, well, I'm going to go on up, take a shower, and run to the store. I said, oh man, don't do that, because I don't have a car, or I don't have the house keys in the apartment to get into the apartment, or the keys get in the apartment, and so I said, just hang on 5 seconds, I'll be done with my last set of whatever I was doing, and we'll run up together. And he's like, Kel, let me go on up. And I said, okay, I'll just take my time, I'll do my last set and work out, finish my workout, and then I'll come up. Well, on the way, you had said on the way up to the 7th floor.
Changed my mind.
He changed his mind.
I decided to go ahead and go.
And then in the gym, I sort of changed my mind, where I said, man, I know he's going to get in the shower and lock the door and he'll be gone before I can get up there. So I thought, I won't do my last set and I'll run on up the steps. But he changed his mind and said, I'm not going to go take a shower, I'll go straight to the store.
I'll come back and I'll get my shower. And
thinking I would be done in the gym by then.
Right.
So communicate. We didn't communicate that to each other.
And communications is huge in a marriage. You know that.
And so I went up to the apartment, and again, in Asia, the apartments, we have, the area where we take our shoes off and put them in the shoe rack. And so there was one gate, and then you sat down inside, and then the door to get into the house. So I couldn't get into the gate because he had the key. Well, I heard the music on in the house. I thought, oh, he's got the music up so loud, which you do a lot. And so I thought, I'll take his shoe. I grabbed his shoe through the gate and I threw it at the door to try to get him to come to the door. And he didn't come. And to make a long story short...
Imagine that. I couldn't hear her shoe hit the door when I was at the store.
But I didn't know he was at the store. So I'm hitting the door with another shoe, and then I'd try to grab another shoe and throw it in there and hit it against the door hard enough to where it bounced back and I could grab it through the gate. And then I ran downstairs, and I thought, where is he? Why is he not answering? And I thought, well, maybe he is gone. So I went downstairs to the parking lot, and I looked, and there was our car parked, right there. Went back upstairs, banged on the door, or threw shoes on the door again. The whole
time the temperature was rising, and you're getting angrier and angrier and angrier with me. And I was at the store.
And so, but I didn't know you were at the store. And so I went back downstairs. I looked, there's our car. So I did this like maybe 20, 30 minutes, up and down, and no Bob. And I was getting, and even the maid, or the lady who cleans up the floors and stuff, she came up and she was cleaning the neighbor's rubbish, trash, and she's like, is something wrong? I'm like, no. And, I was just like fuming. And so...
so you weren't walking in the light with her?
I wasn't walking in the light. So I went back downstairs, and all of a sudden, when I got downstairs, I looked over at the guard shack, and here comes Bob driving in. And like, oh my gosh. You see, there is... As he was coming, which he didn't know, he was just smiling, hi, Kel. And I'm like, I was so mad, and because I thought he was gone.
But there was another car that looked just like ours out in the parking lot.
So I presumed, that the music was coming from inside our apartment. I presumed that the car was ours. It looked just like ours. And what God told me, he says, Kelly, everything is not as it seems. And I learned a valuable lesson that day, that I was just presuming I had the whole riot act I was going to give to him, everything, it sounded like he was in the apartment. The car that looked just like ours was in the parking lot. Everything looked as if he was there, and he wasn't.
But things aren't always as they seem. And you know, one of the things that we can really look at in that and ask ourselves, or really discipline ourselves to do better at that, so that we don't move into presumption. The Bible calls presumption a sin, actually, and the reason
anger.
The reason that it does that is the reason the Bible says that is because when we don't have all the facts, then we're not basing our reality is not based on truth. Our reality is based on what might be, or what should be, or what could be, and that's not necessarily truth. The Bible really teaches us to get all the facts before we make judgments, and also
actually not to judge, to think the best of each other.
And yeah, exactly. The Bible. Love hopes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The love chapter in Corinthians 13.
I should have thought the best
talks
of
about
you.
Love hopes for the best, and so that's one of the things. It's a real hindrance in marriages and just about every relationship, as we said earlier.
And that just brings up to me, all of that was a judge. I go back and it's like, okay, God, where did that root come? Why was I getting so angry? Why the boiling and it was like extreme, on my end. But it had been, and this could be another whole teaching, is, the judgments I had made against men. They don't keep their word. They tell you one thing and they don't follow through. Sound familiar? But I had made those judgments, and that's another whole area that God began dealing with me in our marriage. And
it even goes back into that whole dishonoring thing, because in your heart you were dishonoring me already. You're tearing me apart, thinking condescending
Oh, baby,
thoughts.
I was shredding you.
And so, all of these things are really a hindrance to the intimacy level that God has intended for our marriages. And so we're gonna work on that. We're gonna be very deliberate not to be presumptuous in our marriage or in any of our other relationships. And we hope that this has encouraged you to do the same thing. Let's toast our kefir to each other, and no more presumption in our marriage. Cheers.
Bless you.
And we hope this has helped you out, and will continue to help you out. And we'd like for you to stop by our webpage and have a visit and see what Freedom Quest is all about. You can find us on the internet at www.freedomquestinternational.org. Bless you. Have a great night.
Thank you for joining us.
Bless your marriage too.